Having a narcissist in your life can be very problematic for you. These are people who are toxic, unhealthy, and have no issues with manipulating others, controlling, breaking laws and rules, and do not care about the needs and wants of others as long as they are getting what they want. In this video, we are going to tackle the differences between the two types of narcissists. If we can become aware of their tactics, strategies, and behaviors, we will less likely fall victim to their manipulation and lies. Imagine being the rational one and dealing with someone who is demanding, controlling, and unfair. It will always lead to drama and chaos, and in my work, and in my personal life, I have come to be able to spot the differences between the two different types of narcissists. Stay tuned to the end of the video where we discuss ways in helping you deal with a narcissist if you have one in your life. Hello, my beautiful friends. My name is Carrie Cox, and welcome to my channel where we learn how to use our personal power to build a connection between our mind, body, and spirit. If this is your first time here, please hit the subscribe button and smash that bell notification button so you can be notified when future videos are released. According to the Mayo Clinic, narcissistic personality disorder is a mental condition in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. People with this disorder are unhappy and disappointed with their life and the events that play out for them. They cannot comprehend that they have choices in life and can change their life just by changing their views on the world. Deep inside, they have a very fragile self-esteem. For narcissists, they have difficulty with relationships with other people, usually problems at their job. They may have depression and anxiety, and maybe suffering from a whole lot of health issues. So the first type of narcissist we are going to talk about is the most obvious type of narcissist, and that is the overt narcissist, also known as the grandiose narcissist. The overt narcissist is the most obvious and I believe the most physically dangerous one. Typically, we see this a lot of men, but it could be men or women that are an overt narcissist. In fact, I think I know of one female overt narcissist, and this is a person who has an inflated sense of self. They come off as conceited, arrogant, entitled, and they pretty much act like their shit don't stink. The overt narcissist has a hard time learning from their mistakes. They lack a sense of empathy when it comes to others' needs and wants, and they are truly focused on their self. When you meet an overt narcissist at first, they will seem charming, and they will usually love bomb you in the beginning, put you up on a pedestal so that they can gain trust from you. And you could feel intoxicated by them. Some signs that you've met an overt narcissist, so that when these signs are being presented, you can become aware and conscious that you might be dealing with somebody who is an overt narcissist, is they may have a bullying behavior to them. They have a high need to win at all costs. They have an egotistical view of self and come across as self-centered. The overt narcissist will make getting their own needs met a high priority in their life. They will act entitled and will present very aggressive responses if they are made to look like they are wrong or if they're criticized. They are usually very aggressive in their tactics with controlling you, controlling the money, trying to isolate you away from family so that they can manipulate and control you more. These people are very obvious in their tactics, so it's easier to spot them when you first meet them. The other type of narcissist is the one that is hard to spot, and usually you don't spot it until you've been with them for a while. And they are the covert narcissist, or also called the vulnerable narcissist. Most of the narcissists that I know that fall in this category are female because they aren't as outspoken and arrogant with their arrogance and aren't as aggressive physically. So this person becomes harder to pick out, and they're not as physically dangerous as the overt narcissist is, but they can be more emotionally dangerous, primarily because it's undercover and it's so hard to spot that usually you don't figure this out until you've been in a relationship with them for a long time. They have the ability to cause a lot of severe psychological damage and can cause high amounts of repressed emotional pain. If you know my thoughts about chronic muscle pain and illnesses, you know that I believe that all of that stems from repressed emotional pain. This is why this becomes so dangerous, because these repressed emotions can lead to chronic pain and physical illnesses later on in life. The covert narcissist seeks dominance and control in the relationship, just like the overt narcissist does. You will definitely be able to see who wears the pants in the house, but this behavior is going to be a little more subtle than the covert narcissist. So many people will fall victim to the covert narcissist because of this subtleness. The covert narcissist spends their life trying to deal with overwhelming amounts of fear. Some of their big fears are fear of rejection and fear of abandonment. Sometimes they feel superior to other people, and sometimes they feel inferior to other people. For them, the pendulum kind of swings both ways for them. Sometimes they're very happy, and sometimes they're very miserable. They have a lot of ups and downs, and at the core, they suffer from a great deal of pain and panic about their self-worth. The covert narcissist has armored themselves inside of a shell to stay safe. Inside of the shell that they have created, they still hold high expectations and entitlement, just like the overt narcissist does, but they just hide it under their shell very well. After hearing about the covert narcissists, the vulnerable ones, a lot of people may think that they are one, but there is a difference. I believe that for most of us, we do have issues around our self-worth, and these are the very things we are working towards. And if you watch a lot of my other videos, you will see that we're building a personal power within ourselves to help build up that self-worth. I believe it's the foundational wound that we all pretty much suffer from. But the difference is that healthy people have the capacity to feel empathy for other people, and they feel compassion for other people, and they want to serve other people in some way. But a narcissist doesn't want to serve other people. They only want to serve themselves. They are too self-absorbed. And most of us that are healthy would never use tactics like manipulation, gaslighting, and flying monkeys to manipulate, control, and emotionally abuse other people. Most of us wouldn't speak to other people with disempowering communications like the covert narcissist does. Most of us don't blame other people for our lack. So what are some signs that you've met a covert narcissist? Here are some things to become aware of in dealing with people so that you will be empowered with the knowledge to be able to uncover a covert narcissist in your life. So sign number one is they are usually jealous of other people. They're envious of other people's skills, talents, and possessions. Instead of holding a desire to try to improve their own skills and talents, they would just rather criticize other people, judge other people, and make false perceptions of other people and their skills and talents instead of working on their own. The second sign that you've met a covert narcissist is they have a very passive-aggressive behavior. Just like how their emotions are completely up and down, so is their reactions to things. They usually have a very emotional reaction or response to things. They don't stop and think logically about something. They just emotionally overreact. And sometimes their behavior seems passive aggressive. The third sign is they believe they deserve what other people have, even if they didn't earn it. They have this sense of entitlement, and they feel like they deserve more than other people. In my own personal experience, I have seen the covert narcissist going through a divorce, thinking she's entitled to everything, thinking that everything was hers and she didn't have to share or split everything evenly because she felt entitled, even though most people going through a divorce will split everything 50-50. They have a sense of entitlement. So if you're going through a divorce with one, be on the lookout for their sense of entitlement, because they will try to take everything they can. They don't play fair. The fourth sign that you've met a covert narcissist is they have a strong desire for recognition. They want to be adored, admired, and envied by other people. Their self-esteem is very fragile, and they don't handle criticism well. They get very defensive when they are criticized, and they don't learn from their mistakes. And they usually are in denial of a lot of things too. So pointing anything out to them or trying to express your feelings, desires, or wants to them usually doesn't get you very far. They use tactics to divert the conversation away from the criticism. The next sign that you've met a covert narcissist is that they are highly sensitive people. Now, this is not to be confused if you've seen some of my other videos on the empath and highly sensitive people. So we do have very empathic people who are sensitive to other people's needs, feelings, emotions, and can empathize with them. Narcissists don't know how to empathize with other people. They only know their own feelings. So it's important to understand that this is a different type of highly sensitive person. This is a very self-absorbed, highly sensitive person. They can feel their own feelings, but they cannot feel the world's feelings. They cannot feel other people's feelings like someone who is empathic can. They believe that they have to be perfect. So they're usually in denial of a lot of things about them and the people they are close to. The sixth sign that you've met a covert narcissist is they lack empathy. Just like I had just said in the last one, they don't have empathy. It's not something they know how to have. They have a high need for you to understand them, but they cannot understand where you are coming from. And they can't understand your needs and wants because of them being so self-centered around their own needs. It's usually, even in conversation with them, it's mostly going to be about them. The seventh sign that you've met a covert narcissist is they're very good at making other people feel sorry for them. They're always painting themselves as a victim. They pile on these sob stories for attention, and it can be exhausting to be around because no matter how great their life is, they're always going to find something to complain about. And no matter what suggestions or advice you give them, they always followed up with a yeah, but blank, and fill in the blank with either you don't understand, or they'll give you 10 other reasons why their life is so miserable, or just other reasons to complain about, because they really don't want to fix anything at the end of the day. They just want to complain about it because it makes them look more like they are a victim. When they meet new people, they will use that person to help them get out of a prior situation. If they're coming out of a divorce and they meet someone new, they will paint up these sob stories of how this other person was so horrible to them and how they were so unfair, when really they were the ones being horrible and unfair. It's just that they're going to try to get as much help as they want and paint the other person to look like the bad guy, because this is a tactic to manipulate this new person coming into their life to help them get out of that past situation, or maybe to help them financially because they can't stand on their own 2 feet. So they're going to use these sob stories to be a victim. On my channel, I teach people how to use their own personal power. And these people try to rob other people of their personal power by making them a victim of their emotional abuse, when in fact they really don't have a personal power of their own. They're just trying to gain the upper hand over other people so they can feel like they have power. But I think that they gave their power away long ago to someone else, maybe in childhood, depending on their childhood experiences and traumas. The next sign that you've met a covert narcissist is they will show a lack of respect for other people. I am very conscious and aware of how I treat other people out in public. If I'm picking up food, I smile and say thank you and use my nonverbal communication to try to make other people feel warm. Not a covert narcissist. They don't care how other people feel because it's only about them and their world. other people out there are just a bother to them. So they will often be rude to strangers, and they will kind of pick and choose who they're very rude to, or they may just have a very rude look on their face. If you've ever heard the term RBF, a lot of them have that RBF look to their face where they're just not a nice person to other people, and they'll decide who they're going to play nice to or not. And if they're trying to impress somebody, then they're going to try to appear nice to other people. But for the most part, they're usually pretty mean or just plain rude to other people. And the last sign I have for you today that you met a covert narcissist is they blame everyone else in the world, everyone but themselves. They blame others for the failures in their life, for whatever is wrong with them, and for everything that they lack. It is always someone else's fault. They are incapable of taking self-blame for anything, because that would disrupt this false sense of safety that they have created within themselves. So now that you know that there are two types of narcissists out there, the covert and the overt, what do you do if you have a narcissist in your life? Well, it's important to realize that you cannot change them. As badly as you want to shake them and to get them to see the errors of their ways, especially if they have hurt you, you can't. We can't change other people, but we sure as heck can go on a self-discovery journey to change ourselves. Because unlike the narcissist, we can see where our imperfections are, and we can change those. We can strive to be better people. A narcissist cannot. They cannot handle other people criticizing them, pointing them out to other people, and they will deny everything you bring to their attention. It's important to take control of your own life. We all have our own personal power within us. Take control of your power and set boundaries. This is the most important thing when dealing with a narcissist. You must set strong and healthy boundaries with them. A narcissist does not know what boundaries are. They don't have any, and they will walk all over your boundaries. Decide what you will and will not put up with. And if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. So get help if you need help. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to either a support group or a therapist who specializes in being a victim of a narcissist. There is tons of information out there on the internet, but if you need help because you've been victimized by one, please get help, because you just need to learn some skills and some coping strategies in dealing with this narcissist that may be in your life. If you can walk away, then just walk away. That's the easiest way to deal with one. But sometimes we cannot just walk away from one. So it's important to become conscious of who you are dealing with and how to deal with them appropriately. Narcissists abuse people emotionally, mentally, and sometimes physically, so please seek help. I personally understand the frustration that is involved in dealing with a narcissist, the headaches and the drama that they cause, but these people are not healthy. And if I can give you some hope by making these videos to help you spot a narcissist in your life, or to see when you are being undermined and manipulated by one, then that is my goal. I hope to empower you with the information you need if you have been a victim of one. Because I have witnessed in my own personal life someone who was emotionally abused, manipulated, and controlled by a narcissist can move on to have a happy and fulfilling and meaningful life, one that they desire and deserve. I've seen this with a lot of my clients that have been abused at the hands of a narcissist. The best way to arm yourself against a person like this is to become conscious and aware of how they operate so that you can be armed and ready when one attacks. Thank you, my beautiful friends. Have a blessed and beautiful day, and namaste.